Well, for a further analysis on the Strait of Hormuz and the latest regional developments, we're joined by the International Affairs Analyst, Dr. Ahmad Salehi, live from Tehran. Doctor, once again, thank you so much for joining us on Asia One. So Iran says it has struck 3 oil tankers in the Strait of Hormuz after they ignored its warnings. How serious is this escalation for maritime security within the Gulf?
Actually, the issue of the Strait of Hormuz has been a national pride, or has become a national pride for the Iranians. And fortunately or unfortunately, the Pandora box is open. And the President of the United States opened this Pandora box. From the Iranian point of view, after 3 rounds of war, not 2, 3 rounds of war, which 2 of them were existential threat towards the nation, towards the country. We remember that when President of the United States was asked that will the map of Iran be identical and will be the same after this war, he said probably not. So this was a direct quotation to the existential of Iran. So after all of this, any nation, any loyal citizen to any nationality will decide that this tool, which is now the Strait of Hormuz, is directly related to the existence of the country. And the point is that Iran has the upper hand because the United States is fighting against geography. You know, the problem for CENTCOM is the problem of scale. It means that they need to search and destroy all the drones, missiles, anything in an area of about 500 miles by 500 miles. Not even mentioning the whole country of Iran, because Iran has the capability to launch any projectile towards the Strait of Hormuz from any place in the country. But we're talking about drones. So we're talking about an area that 11,000 Manhattan can be put inside that area. So this is the problem of a scale that they cannot overcome. Another problem is that when they start an air campaign, they have to continue it indefinitely because the projectiles will be rebuilt and the projectiles will be resubstituted. They will be replaced. And this is why Washington Post released an article, an official estimation by the intelligence bodies of the United States, including CIA, that Iran and U.S. war are, the war between U.S. and Iran is stuck in an indefinite limbo. It means that there is not any finishing strategy. There is not any finishing point because, as I said, United States is fighting against geography. The geography of Persian Gulf and the Strait of Hormuz has been for Iranian and has been under the dominance of the Iranian nation for thousands of years. So this is a reckless, this is a clueless fight. And Iran was not, this is very important, Iran was not using this tool, to take hostage the international economy or the energy global market, etc., etc. But let's imagine that you face an existential threat, 2 rounds of war with nuclear states against your country. Then what would you do? So again, I'm saying that the world is blaming United States over this issue. And moreover, they push, moreover, they stalk, moreover, they go deep into the mud like the Vietnam War. It was supposed to be epic fury. Maybe it is now becoming to maybe epic grief for the Americans. And everybody agrees, from the retired generals of CENTCOM and US Army to political analysts and commentators, that there is not any military solution for reopening the Strait of Hormuz, because if your firepower is 20 times bigger than the firepower of Iran, it doesn't help to reopen this strait. But firing a single drone, a single projectile, will close the strait because the ships and the owners and the insurance companies will not take the risk. for this passage. And moreover, that we're approaching, we are going towards the election in November, only 3 months. So this is very crucial for the administration in Washington to gain control of the Strait of Hormuz before or prior to the election. And it doesn't matter if the president of the United States claims that it controls or he controls the Strait of Hormuz. They have to take the control because the markets, the political arena, and the public United States, the voters, do not buy the lies and the false claims of the president of the United States anymore. So, what is the strategy? Nobody knows. Yes, Trump always threatens for going into infrastructure war, and Iran has always stated that Iran is ready to go to infrastructure wars because everybody knows that trillions of investment have been done in the allies, in the territories of the allies of the United States. Yes, they are Iran's neighbor, they are Arab brothers, but unfortunately, they are in alliance with the United States. They are the host of the bases of the United States. And those bases are responsible for killing thousands of Iranians, for assassinating the leaders of the country. So the state of brotherhood is something, but paving the path for invasion of the enemy to your motherland is totally another story. The point is that the fight of infrastructures uh, will have one loser, and that loser is the allies of the United States in the region, and they are well aware. I mean, this is not ethical values that have prevented Trump and Netanyahu to attack Iran in terms of infrastructures, because everybody knows in the world the level of the ethical credibility of these two gentlemen. Everybody knows that how ethic is important for these two persons. So it is only the reactions and the consequences. And Iran knows this very well, and Iran is very well prepared for the consequences of the region. And the idea of bypassing the Strait of Hormuz, because we hear that some think tanks, some intellectuals are talking about bypassing the Strait of Hormuz. Okay, let's say that with the help of a pipeline or some thousands of trucks, you bypass the Strait of Hormuz. Then what will they do about the oil fields? The oil fields, the natural oil fields are near the borders of Iran, 200 kilometers away, because they are all located in eastern Saudi Arabia, in United Arab Emirates, in uh, Basra in Iraq, in Khuzestan in Iran. This region is an oil-rich region, and this is only 200 kilometers away from Iran's border. So the idea of uh, security for some nations and unsecurity or threat for another nation is an idea of the past, whether there's security for everybody or none, whether everybody is exporting oil and benefits from the
And,
uh, uh,
and so I just want to ask you as well
passage
about
through the
the
strait
US
or
and
none.
Saudi strikes. The US and Saudi Arabia say their strikes in Iraq have killed 20 members of Iraq's popular mobilization forces, while Iraqi groups have reported heavy losses. How is Tehran likely to respond to these attacks?
First of all, this is opening the other Pandora box. If they have benefited from opening the first Pandora box, they will benefit from opening the second Pandora box. You see, the cultural relations between Iranians and Iraqis. I mean, this is now the time of Arba'in. I mean, the 40-day after the anniversary of Imam Hussein's martyrdom, and you will see these days. Uh, you are seeing, everybody is watching that how binded these two nations are together. This is not the point that they are neighbors. This is not the point that they have tens of billions of dollars economic cooperation. This is not the point that they have mutual interests and benefits. This is a deep cultural and spiritual alliance between these two nations. Everybody saw that how was the funeral of the leader of Iran, Ayatollah Khamenei, how it took place in Iraq, in Karbala and Najaf, unprecedented. Iraq has never witnessed and experienced such a crowd for the funeral of any national or religious personality. So the problem for the Americans and now for the Saudis, etc., is that they lack in information. They need to revise their intelligence. They need to retake some of the things that they have taken for granted. I mean, opening the second Pandora box will only uh, deepen their problem and jeopardize their interests more. I mean, because as I said, this is a spiritual alliance between not only Iran and Iraq, also Yemeni people, the resistance also in Syria. Yes, in Syria, there is a resistance now raising, and you will hear about it more in future. So the bottom line is justice. And it started somewhere in Quds, in Palestine. So if we want to point to the core issue of the problem, and if we want to solve it, we need to address the core issue, and that is justice, which started from the Palestine and occupation. If we do not want to do that, we can drop more bombs, we can open more Pandora box, we can put ourselves deep into more problems, into another Vietnam, another all-out war, another losing the election, another failure, another. I mean, uh, going through the same roads will not take you to different destinations. Using the same methods will bring the same results. And this is the lesson that someday the, the brutal power, the cruel power, the blunt power that wants to solve everything through the tools of military and bomb, they have to learn this lesson. And I think uh, this mistake, which they started for going to war with Iran, maybe it gives them the proper lessons, and it will bring prosperity and peace for the region and for the world if they take the lessons and if they address the core issue, and that is justice.
And sir, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, Kuwait and Bahrain are all calling for de-escalation. Is there still room for regional diplomacy, or is the conflict moving towards a wider military confrontation?
Nobody knows. Their path is the correct path. The security in the region should be in the hands of the brothers and the residents and the inhabitants of this region. Any extruder, any invader, any alien, anybody who comes from thousands of kilometers away should go back to their home. And they have to because for thousands of years, the people in this region were living in peace together. So they have the capability to reestablish this peace and to work, I mean, in a positive coexistence with each other. I really hope that the people in the region, the decision makers in the capitals of the Arab nations in the region, will come to this conclusion that we are capable to bring justice, peace, stability, coexistence, and all of these positive values into the region without the help of foreign powers, because they only deepen the problem. We can do it by ourselves. And this is the right, if this is a strategy, they need to take serious steps. And the first step can be removing the military bases, because regardless to the value of peace and prosperity by the people of the region, regardless to this matter, it is now clear that these military bases were not successful to bring uh, security, immunity, not even for the uh, military bases, and also for the people in these Arab states, Arab brother states. So uh, this is this has no meaning to preserve these military bases, 20 to 30 military bases around Iran, and 90 million people in Iran know that they are only in these countries to attack Iran, to kill Iranians, to put pressure on Iranians, to drop bomb on Iranians. So that if the strategy of de-escalation is a real one, the first step will be closing, abandoning permanently these military bases in the region, and that is in the benefit and interest of all the nations, all the authorities, all the people in the region.